From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight,
hello and welcome. Tonight, INEC says it's ready for a hitch-free supplementary election in Anambra State, announces restriction of movement between midnight and 6 p.m. Nigerian Army renews commitments to the fight against terrorism. The Federal High Court Abuja sentences a Lebanese national to life imprisonment for conspiracy to import prohibited arms. And 2 Nigerians on trial for allegedly killing a British soldier.
On Business News tonight, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria commits to reducing financial reporting challenges in the country.
And on Sports News tonight, match fixing resurfaces in English football. Court remands 2 Singaporeans for complicity.
Gloria Omezuke from Abuja, International Human Rights Commission declares willingness to mediate in the face-off between the federal government and ASU.
Attention is shifting to Anambra State, where a supplementary election is scheduled to hold tomorrow. The election is being conducted in Idemili North and Onitsha South local government areas, where the exercise, according to INEC, was poorly handled. All seems set for the concluding part of the exercise. The INEC chairman, Atahiru Jega, had promised that the wrongs of the November the 16th poll will be corrected this time around. Assurances are also being given by the Nigerian Police Force. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abubakar, gave the assurance that the security arrangements made during the November the 16th polls are still in place. He promised that the force will continue to maintain optimum presence in the state until the conclusion of the exercise. Mr. Abubakar also urged the personnel of other security agencies involved in the assignment to remain steadfast and exhibit the highest level of professionalism at all times. Now, while some frontline political parties have threatened to boycott the Anambra supplementary poll, about 14 political parties have confirmed that their candidates will participate. INEC-accredited observers say a boycott of the exercise is not good for democracy. Our next report takes a look at the events leading up to the poll.
November the 16th is one date that cannot be easily erased in Anambra's political history. Governorship elections held, but ended inconclusively. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is holding a supplementary election tomorrow. It's an opportunity they have to correct the wrongs in the last elections. Even though 3 frontline political parties are boycotting the election, INEC is saying it's undemocratic.
The declaration of a supplementary election by INEC is in order and in accordance with the Electoral Act of 2010 as amended. Therefore, a boycott of this Anambra State governorship supplementary election, as announced by a few political parties, is highly undemocratic and an impending danger for our growing democracy.
Well, the decision to boycott is not unanimous. Most of the other parties have resolved to contest the supplementary election.
Control the baby and the battle that way. So we are saying, as candidates, go on with this, conclude it. There are procedures for solving electoral problems. The United Progressive Party has already been mobilized, and for this particular election tomorrow, yeah, we have done that. And my agents are fully on ground. I came out with the intent of winning. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to win, but I'm a marathoner. I'll take my race to conclusion. And I expect every other person to do that and swallow their pride if they've lost. I'm begging all Anambrans to come out and vote for whomever they want to vote for. have my pleading to Anambrans.
It'll be a move to correct the glitch in INEC's conduct of the Anambra governorship election. But it's still looking like, as with most of the previous polls, this one might also ultimately end up in court.
Now let's give you a sense of what we know on the eve of the election. INEC has announced a restriction order in Idemili North and Onitsha South between midnight and 6 p.m. tomorrow, and that's for Saturday. And some protesters have marched earlier on today to INEC's office in Awka. We have a team on ground in the state, and our correspondent Seun Okinbaloye is in Awka, the state capital, monitoring developments. So what can you tell us, Seun?
No, it's you. Thank you, Ijoma, and thank you for joining us on the News at 10. Prof, let me start by asking you, how prepared are you for tomorrow's supplementary election?
We are adequately prepared. Our full complement of staff is on the last phase of moving to the field. Yesterday, we left the state office, the local government office. This afternoon, we moved from the local government office to the super racks. Super racks are midstreams between the local government office and the polling units. We are now at the super racks, passing the night at the super rack. Early tomorrow morning at 5, we move the super rack to the polling units. So we are adequately prepared. Sensitive materials are already at the super racks. The non-sensitive materials are already there. And our full complement of ad hoc staff is ready. Similarly, our support staff of permanent staff from INEC is beside them. We are adequately ready.
All right, it's interesting to know that a lot of people in town, when we went around town, in some of the places, especially at Idemili and Onitsha, they seem not to be aware that something is happening, especially those people who are concerned where elections are going to be taking place tomorrow.
What you say is amazing, because we know they are aware. You may not have actually gone on the second level of inquiring why they're not as enthusiastic as you seem to imply. Because since Monday, we have made extensive and intensive announcements. We've used the electronic media, we use the mass media daily, using the television and the radio. We have made an announcement in Igbo, in English, 4 times a day, telling people the exact location, the 17 local government areas, the polling units affected, and the number of registrants affected. We've done this. We sent town criers in the affected areas. So it's, to me, it's amazing. Maybe 1 or 2 persons who are disinterested and don't want to give a dog a bad name in order to crucify it, again, seem to be giving the impression that we're not ready. We are ready, and the announcement has been very, very extensive.
So there's going to be a lockdown because of security tomorrow?
Definitely. Not in all the areas, no. The restriction of movement will be only in Idemili North, where the bulk of the action will take place. Then in Fege, you remember in previous elections, Fege, the Fege ward in Onitsha South, is always a flashpoint, and we don't want to take any chance. So in those areas, movement will be restricted. In other areas, no.
Isn't it intriguing that about 3 major candidates in this election are pulling out? They are boycotting the process, and you're still going ahead with the election.
It is not the end, it is the law. INEC abides by the law of the land. The electoral law stipulates that it is only the returning officer who should tell us whether election should be cancelled or not cancelled, or whether there should be a rerun or a supplementary election. And in this last election, the returning officer made it clear that given certain circumstances that were inevitable, that we must have a supplementary election. We abide by the law of the land.
So you are not bothered about the boycotting or the boycott of some of the other parties?
Well, I don't know whether they're actually boycotting anyway. If they do, they have the right to boycott. It's their personal affair. You know, they're citizens of this land, and they have the right to want to reject to exercise their franchise. You know, they have. We cannot force them. But the point I know is that, at least for the APC is very, very actively involved in this election. When I went to the central bank to collect the sensitive material, APC representatives were there. When I shared the sensitive materials in my office, the APC materials were there. They signed it. They were there. When I went to Ogidi local government, the APC agents were there, and the supervised the ACP. So when they talk of not boycotting, it seems to me far-fetched. It seems spurious because it doesn't base, from what people say and from what the media tends to give. It seems that the media is giving APC a bad name because APC is actively involved.
I'd like to thank you for coming on the news.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we've been talking with the wreck of Anambra INEC here in Awka. It's back to you now, Ujoma.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Sheung. Our political correspondent, Sheung Okimbaloye, live there in Awka, giving us some perspective on the eve of the Anambra supplementary poll, with the INEC resident electoral commissioner there confirming that all is set for tomorrow. We're going to stick now with the Anambra poll, and the candidate of the Labour Party in the November the 16th governorship election, Ifeanyi Ubah, has secured a court order for accelerated hearing in a case against INEC, challenging the legality of tomorrow's supplementary election in Anambra State. In a suit filed before the Federal High Court, Abuja, by his counsel Olagoke Fakunle, Mr. Ubah is seeking an interlocutory injunction restraining INEC from conducting any further governorship election in Anambra State until the court has reviewed the processes in the poll. According to Mr. Fakunle in a letter intimating INEC of the suit, supplementary election is not known to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, and the electoral umpire need not go ahead with the election. Now in part two, after the break, President Goodluck Jonathan arrives in Bayelsa on a private visit. That's in a moment. The John Sudan.